Cillian Murphy, how are you? Lovely to see you. Yeah, very well. So it's almost in cinemas. How are you feeling? How excited are you for audiences to see it?
Very, very excited. You know, the reaction so far has been amazing. It's a film designed for theaters, you know, for IMAX. So I'm going to watch it tonight.
Fantastic. With an audience as well. Obviously, movie number 6 for you with Christopher Nolan. Tell me, how did you react when he came to you and said, I want you to play this role?
I mean, I had to sit down for a minute. But I was thrilled. You know, any actor in the world would want to work with Chris. He's one of the greats, one of the greatest directors we have in the world, and I feel privileged to have worked with him so much, you know.
Now, obviously, he's a huge fan of IMAX. If you could recommend why an audience see this on the biggest screen possible, what would you say?
Well, because I think it's less of a film and more of an experience. It's like Chris likes to describe it as 3D without the glasses, you know.
And in terms of the importance of the movie, I was still reeling from watching it last night and the ending, but what do you hope audiences take away from their experience watching Oppenheimer?
Well, first and foremost, I think they need to be entertained. I think that movie does it in spades. And then I think it asks a lot of questions, some of the big kind of, you know, ethical, moral, paradoxical questions that there is. And my 15-year-old kid saw it and he was knocked out and was very, very curious about all that time in history and its relevance to today, you know.
Fantastic stuff. Thank you so much, Cillian. How are you? Lovely to see you. Let me start by saying, big movie, Christopher Nolan movie. How do you react when you get a call saying, do you want to be in Oppenheimer?
Well, first of all, yeah, huge fan of Chris. But also, I don't know why, I've always been fascinated with this event and the history around it. And then to be transported on IMAX cameras to where you're going to feel like you've been brought back to when it happened. And I think as people are seeing the film and saying really what an achievement it is, the fact that it's also just so riveting. Like I remember when you used to see movies that were important movies, but also gave you the full immersion in cinema. So it's kind of both.
Yeah, it's an incredible movie. I'm still reeling from those final scenes, that's all I'll say on that. But what do you hope audiences take away from their experience of watching Oppenheimer?
That a summer blockbuster can also be a very evolved piece of storytelling. I've done all kinds of movies, and I love all kinds of movies. I've never been in a film that is this big and this small, because it's something we're all really thinking about. And again, you know, Chris Nolan takes it as an assumption that the audience is intelligent, and I appreciate that.
Thank you so much. Hi guys, how are you? Lovely to see you. One day we'll meet in Highgate. Lovely. So let me start by saying the movie is almost out. How excited are you for audiences to finally see Oppenheimer?
Certainly excited. A little bit nervous. There's a great crowd out here tonight. And,
I wonder who just walked behind you.
I know. Very excited, but a little nervous. It's always a bit scary to bring it out to an audience for the first time.
Obviously, this is a movie. You celebrate IMAX cinema. Why should audiences see this on the biggest screen possible?
Well, it's, you know, the amazing thing about IMAX is the visual quality of the image is just second to none, and it's truly an immersive experience on that big screen, and nothing like anything you could get at home.
And you've assembled one of the most stellar casts I've ever seen. I saw the movie last night. Every single one of them gives an incredible performance. What made this the movie to populate even some of the smaller roles with Oscar winners, Oscar nominees, some of the greatest actors in Hollywood?
Well, the scale and excitement of this movie is driven by its cast. That's true of every movie to a degree, but with this movie more than most. This is a film about people coming together to try and pull something off against seemingly impossible odds. So we needed Cillian Murphy at the heart of this as Oppenheimer. but we needed to surround him with the greatest actors that we could find, right down to the very smallest roles. There are no composite characters in the film. Everybody from the history is represented as they need to be. And so there's a large cast, a really wonderful ensemble around an excellent central performance.
And having just watched the movie and still recovering from the ending, that's all I'll say for the moment, what are you hoping audiences take away from their experience of watching Oppenheimer?
Well, I think that the thing that Chris does really well with his movies is he sort of makes films that really live with people after they've left the theatre. And so I think that, this film gives people a lot to chew on, a lot to think about. And it's a little bit of a cautionary tale, shall we say.
I'll ask you the same question, Chris. What are you hoping audiences take away from this?
Well, you try not to be didactic. The film doesn't have a specific message. It's just a great story, one of the greatest stories that I know of. And so we've tried to do it justice. And I think part of the appeal of the story, what makes it dramatic, is that told right, and we've done our best, when the film finishes, there'll be a lot of interesting questions, a lot of resonances.
Thank you very much, both of you. Enjoy the rest of your night. Good to see you. Hey, Matt, how you doing? Good to see you, man.
You too, man.
Hey, so it's almost out. How excited are you for audiences to finally see Oppenheimer?
I'm really excited. It came out really well. It's one of the best screen performances I've ever seen with what Cillian did. He's amazing in the movie, so I can't wait. Not a long wait now for people to see it.
And obviously, this is your second movie with Chris. What was it like getting the call? Well, how did you react when you got the call asking you to be in Oppenheimer?
It comes out of the blue completely. Like he never tells anybody what he's working on really, and he just suddenly you just kind of get the call. It's a great. There were a couple films that went by where there wasn't anything in it for me to do, and so I was excited to be back in the rotation.
And obviously, it's a powerful piece of cinema. What are you hoping audiences take away from their experience of watching this?
It's an amazing movie. All of his movies, he's never didactic about it. He really wants the audience to bring what they bring and to discuss. They're very thought-provoking movies that he makes. So I think that's either Robert or Cillian, I think. Oh, it's Chris. But I think that's what's great about his films is he loves his audience. You know what I mean? He really trusts them and wants them to be talking about it afterwards. And he always makes things that provoke that kind of dialogue, which is very cool.
And finally, why would you suggest people see this on the biggest screen possible?
Because that's how Chris Nolan made it to be seen, and he shot it with that in mind. Every single detail he put in was so that people can see it in its largest possible format. They invented black and white IMAX for sequences in this movie. I mean, that's how you should see it if you can. Yeah.
So it's almost out in cinemas. Can you tell me how are you feeling about audiences finally seeing Oppenheimer?
Oh my God, like over the moon and quite nervous. It's always a bit nerve-wracking. It's sort of like it's been ours for a long time and now it's everyone else's. But I do feel thrilled by the movie, and it's time. It's time for everyone to get to experience it.
And what was your reaction when you got the call going, would you like to be in Christopher Nolan's new movie, Oppenheimer?
It was just to meet him, at which point I was like, if you have a jetpack, just like put it on and run, like go to the meeting. And he's so English, Chris, and so casual that we talked for like 2 hours. And then he was like, right, so it's for the character of Kitty, if you'd like to do it. And I was like, is that an offer? Like, it was just so cash and funny, and the script was heart racing. I mean, it was a yes before I'd read it, And
in terms of the spectacle, obviously it's shot in IMAX. Why would you recommend audiences see this on the biggest screen possible?
Well, because he made it for the biggest screen possible. I mean, every detail he sweat bullets for this film. And the whole thing is just supposed to be a fully immersive experience. It's more than a film. This is a heart-racing experience, and to get the full kidnap of it, you've got to go see it massive,
Final question. Is there a message you think audiences should be taking from their experience of watching Oppenheimer?
No, I mean, I don't think Chris makes films that are didactic in any way. I feel he likes the open-endedness of asking really profound questions but sort of not giving you the answers. I want people to metabolize it together. I want you go for a drink, talk about it. You'll need to, and that's the best part.
Thank you so much. Enjoy your evening. It's finally almost out in cinemas. How excited are you for audience to see this movie?
Yeah, really excited. I mean, you know, I was talking to a friend of mine in the car in here. You know, I wasn't there when Blade Runner screened. I wasn't there when all these, you know, when say Unforgiven screened. You know, not only am I in Oppenheimer, but I'm here when it first opened. But you want to see these films, I think, that last and stand the test of time, and I definitely feel Oppenheimer is one of those.
Congratulations on your performance. It's scary, powerful stuff.
I haven't seen it. It's my first time. Yeah, I've been away. So
This is your first time seeing it?
my first time tonight. Yeah.
How excited are you to
It
see it?
is. No, I really am. Actually, yeah. You always, you know, I read it in Chris's office. You know, it's a 3-hour read, and it was a special moment. You know, the first time you do anything in this business, and so I thought I'll save it. I'll watch it in front of 2,500 people here at one of the great theatres of France. You know.
That's amazing. So, what do you think audiences should take away from their experience of watching Oppenheimer from reading the script?
I know this is a non sequitur, but what I was reminded of with the whole story of this man and this time and this moment is that Mao quote when he was asked what he thought about the French Revolution, and he said, "It's too soon to tell." You know, we really don't know all of the benefits or cost of what this man and this group, but this man and his leadership have done for this planet, you know, and the story is still going to play out. I truly believe that.
And finally, for you, when you get that call going, would you like this role in Christopher Nolan's new movie? What is your reaction?
It's pretty cool. You know, it is. I mean, it's pretty cool to look across and see the dude standing there, you know. He poured his life and his soul into, you know, this book and this story, and you read it on the script, and it brought tears to my eyes. You know, you really, and you feel the weight and the depth of thought and, you know, work he's put into it, and for him to invite you into that room, you know, is really, really nice. A really good feeling, you know, and it's affirming of, you know, what we all love, or what I love particularly as an actor and as a member of this profession.
Well, congratulations again. I'm sure you're going to enjoy it.
So this was the theatre where we first showed Memento anywhere in the world, and now it's the first theatre anywhere in the world where we will show Oppenheimer on 70mm film, courtesy of our friends in Normandy, Ricard, who has lent us the projector. And I could not take this opportunity to thank my incredible collaborators up here today. This has been a long journey, and it's not for us to make any great claims about the film, but I will say that the performances from these actors you see before you, I think you're going to be as impressed with them as I have been. And I want to say thank you to you all for your fine work. I hope you enjoy the film. It's an intense experience. It's a very serious subject, but it's something that we've poured our heart and souls into. So thank you very much for coming to this. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
Truman needs to know what's next.
2.
What's next?
1.